Well, hello guys, it is that time once again for another edition of Odds and Ends, where I read you some really weird news stories from all over the world, and hey, they don't call it Odds and Ends for a reason, you know? Now, I know I am extremely late with this edition, but only because when you're working 5 to 6 days a week and your shifts are anywhere between 9 to 12 hours, it can get pretty exhausting and you have very little time off to do this, so yeah, sorry about all this whole delay and all this other nonsense though, but I am somewhat catching up to odds and ends. So this one that I'm going to do right now is from last week, and then the next one is this week, and then I'm going to do tomorrow's edition, or Thursday's edition, I should say, excuse me, Thursday's edition very soon. So yeah, 3 odds and ends videos coming up. But so without further ado, let's get to these stories, shall we? Now, our first story comes out of Romania, where an alleged burglar rifling through a home in the tiny eastern Romanian town of Benesti got so scared after hearing a strange noise that he actually called the police. According to London's Metro newspaper, 31-year-old Marius Ionescu thought he heard another burglar breaking into the house, so he hid and waited for authorities to come and rescue him. Turns out the only other thing in the house was the family's cat. Quote, he already has a criminal record for similar break-ins. Police spokesperson Mihela Starab said on Esu, quote, given his nervous disposition, he probably should look for another job. Yeah, dude. Really? You were that stupid. You had to call the police because you thought you heard something in the house and you thought it was another burglar breaking in, but it turns out it was the cat. Scaredy cat. Sorry, I had to throw that in there. And then you call the police, dude? Really? Really? Should have thought that one out a little bit better, but obviously not. So, moving on to our next story, which comes out of California, where a Northern California grocery store is making the best out of a bad situation, turning surveillance footage of a recent robbery attempt into a television commercial. Earlier this year, a video camera installed inside Kent's Meats and Groceries in Redding captured overnight images of an overweight, bearded man in pajama pants throwing a rock at the glass-fronted doors of the supermarket. The glass cracks, but does not shatter. The store's alarm goes off, however, frightening the would-be burglar away. In his mad dash to escape, the burglar can be seen tripping over a concrete parking barrier in the parking lot. Store owner Kent Prefermer took the footage and turned it into a commercial for his pastrami. The commercial features the break-in attempt and ends in the words, "So good, some people will do just about anything to get more." The Reading Police Department is still trying to identify the man in the video. I really think that it's really not a good idea if you're going to show footage of a burglary of your store because, well, I don't know if more people are going to try to break in the store, needless to say. And then on top of that, why is my question? You could have came up with your own though, but I'm guessing this was the best thing that you could come up with that just came off the top of your head. So, anyways, moving on to our next story, which comes out of North Dakota, where a brand new news anchor lost his job after swearing within the first 5 seconds of his debut on live television. A.J. Clement became an internet sensation after footage of the nervous newscaster muttering "fucking shit" as cameras were focused on him for the first time went viral. Clemente later tweeted about his embarrassing debut, saying, quote, "That couldn't have gone any worse." Monica Hanna, news director of Bismarck's KFYR-TV, apologized to the station's official Facebook page, saying Clemente had been fired following the incident. Within a week of Clemente's graph, he has been booked on the Today Show and The Late Show with David Letterman. He even landed a brief replacement job covering the red carpet premiere of Pierce Brosnan's new movie Love Is All You Need for, quote, Live with Kelly and Michael. Well, that's one way of doing a complete 180 because not only did you swear on TV and you had a local job, but not only that, but you also went viral and you also got booked on morning talk show, late night talk show, and even doing red carpet interviews for another daytime talk show. So, I don't know how this happened though, but I guess it just did. But let's just say that if he didn't do it, he would still be a news anchor. He would still be doing this newscasting in North Dakota. So, yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? Moving on to our next story, which comes out of Connecticut, where a man was arrested at a CVS pharmacy in Middletown for allegedly trying to steal 102 bottles of nail polish. Marco Gonzalez, 42, entered the store at around 9 p.m. on April 18th, and according to the store's loss prevention officer, quote, started selecting and concealing Essie and Sally Hansen brand nail polishes into a sweatshirt. When confronted, Gonzalez had more than 100 bottles stuffed into his sweatshirt and pants. According to the Middleton Press, Gonzalez told a responding police officer, quote, that he did not plan on paying for the nail polish. Gonzalez was charged with fifth-degree larceny for merchandise totaling $865.98. Okay, so I'm guessing you were trying to get high off of nail polish, but yet you didn't want to cough up the money because, one, you didn't have it, two, you're probably poor as hell and most likely don't have a job or unemployment income, so there's that. But why in the hell did you steal 100 bottles of nail polish and then you think you're going to get away with it? You know there's surveillance cameras in CVS Pharmacy, right? You know that, right? So not only did you get charged with fifth-degree larceny for merchandise, but it totaled $865.98. So you're going to be looking at some hard time, dude. I'm just saying. Moving on to our next story, which comes out of Michigan, where a bargain-hunting real estate investor bought a house in Kalamazoo for $3,200 and made a quick $115,000 without fixing it up or selling it. After Brandy Crawford Johnson bought the 1,800 square foot tax foreclosure home, she sued the city for failing to tell her the building contained lead paint. Though the city is not required to actually test houses for lead contamination, city officials recently approved a $115,000 settlement in the case. In settling with Johnson, the city acknowledged that officials did not provide appropriate documentation about the possibility of lead in the 110-year-old home. All houses built prior to 1977, when lead-based paint was banned, may contain lead. Wow. Well, 1,800 square foot house, it's a 110-year-old home, and you bought it for $3,200. Obviously, there's going to be lead in that paint, but you know what? This really isn't news because, I mean, it's like they say, all houses built prior to 1977 had lead-based paint. Of course they're going to have lead in it. And the city doesn't tell you, so obviously someone's going to get upset, but $115,000 out of it, it's actually not bad though, but my question is, what are you going to do with that $115,000? Are you going to fix up the house? You're going to remodel it? Or what? What are you going to do with that money? I don't know. We'll have to, I guess we'll just find out later on, sooner or later. And moving on to our final story, which comes out of New York, where state police busted an enterprising Walmart employee for turning tricks in the bargain department store's restroom. According to the Times-Union newspaper in Albany, 22-year-old Foster M. Bills was charged with a misdemeanor count of prostitution after an undercover police investigator said Bills accepted his offer of cash for sex. Police checked into the store in Queensbury after receiving an anonymous tip about illicit activity. Bills, who worked the night shift at the Walmart, allegedly advised his services on Craigslist. Okay, dude, let's think about this. You working for Walmart, and then you post an ad of cash for sex on Craigslist. Do you not realize that undercover cops are going to be on your ass about this? And not only that, you also got caught, and most likely you are going to get fired from your job. And you think, oh yeah, because I worked a late night shift and there's like nobody here, blah blah blah. You think you're going to get away with it? Ha ha, no. Wasn't going to happen. You are such an idiot. But anyways, guys, that is it for this edition of Odds and Ends, and I really hope you guys enjoyed listening to those stories as much as I like reading them to you. And we will see you for the next video very shortly. So until next time, we'll see you guys later, and take it easy.